everybody, welcome to Spring Stitch Knits. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Luke, and we want to welcome you guys to our podcast where we cover all things knitting related, yarn related, and we do some really cool things, including some outdoor knitting. We're going to show you some cool clips from some other people, as well as some different projects that we are working on here.
Today, I'm working on this sweater. It is knit using rehab yarn. It was once another sweater, and here is the sleeve left over from the other sweater. I'm quite literally pulling the wool out of the old sweater, rewinding it, and knitting a new sweater. So, as you can see, it's nice and smooth and delicate yarn from the original knit. But when you pull it out, it kind of resembles ramen noodles, which is not typically a problem after the washing stage, but it kind of tends to give it a funky texture. Don't be alarmed, anything can come out with a good long soak.
That looks like one of those sweaters that you get like vacuum sealed in the package, and then when you open it, you know, it expands.
It's kind of funny how it works. It really, the only troubles I've been having are because they're so kinky and wound from the old sweater, it always gets tangled in itself, but that's really the only struggle.
Is it hard to knit? Does it like want to go away from your needles because it's wavy?
No, it actually, it's the scrunchiness of it is no trouble for knitting. However, it just creates that weird texture. Once in a while, like I say, it does catch, you know, my working yarn will catch on my tails, but that's the only issue I have with it. But it's a knit in the round sweater, and it starts top down from the yoke, and I have a simple knit purl for the yoke. The arms are sectioned off, and you work the body all the way to the bottom ribbing, and then you come back and pick up your stitches and knit the arms in the round.
This looks like a belly button ring. Can I wear it?
So, what's up with Luke?
All right, so it's actually, truth be told, been a little while since I've knitted, and I don't have any new projects to show.
Since you've knit.
It's knit?
Knit.
Knitted.
It would be knitted in the round, but when you're knitting, it's been a long time since I've knit, I think.
Interesting. Fair enough, grammar correction. It's been a while since I have knit anything, and I am currently not working on a project. However, I do have a cool project to show you guys today. Something that I'm into is 3D printing and 3D modeling, and so I do have my 3D printer right here beside me, and I was intrigued to make something for today's episode. And so I wound up printing these needle gauges. I did one in a variegated orange filament, and I did one in a silk silver filament. And basically, they turned out pretty crummy. The last layer didn't come out right, and the numbers are a little off. But I will say, functionally speaking, the gauges work. And it was kind of a cool project that I just came up with, and I wanted to share with you guys. So if there's anything that you ever want to see me 3D print for knitting, perhaps you could drop that in the comments, and I'll try your idea out.
And we are going to host a giveaway very soon, so you might even see these again. But let's check it out. This is a US size 6 4mm needle. Try to pop it into the 6 hole or the 4mm hole.
All right.
See if it works. Does it?
It's 4.5. There's 4. Oh, it's 4.5. It says.
So you're a little off, but there is a little bit of
But these are. It's a little sloppy in there too.
So this is my very heavily used, very worn gauge.
Yours is tight too.
Well, it's meant to, so, okay, so.
Oh, I see, 4 here. Oh, 4.0. So maybe mine's different because 4.0 is actually a 6.
Yeah, so, okay, so anybody.
What's that mean?
Anybody who is new to knitting, most experienced knitters will know the difference, but US numbers are very different from the metric system, or I believe Europe. So you have numbers 1 through 17 and probably further, but the typical numbers are US 0 all the way down through 17. And I'll include a little picture beside the video to show these. But you have US gauge goes 1 through 17, but your millimeters, the US 0 starts at 2.0 millimeter, where US 17 goes all the way up to 12 millimeter. So my needles, I have 2 sets of needles. This current one is just a Knit Picks needle, and it does usually say, and they're interchangeable, which is why you don't see a cord. I'll attach my cord when I'm ready to knit. But right here, it usually tells me, as long as I haven't worn the numbers off, which some of my needles have been heavily used.
She knits a lot, like all day, every day.
So at the top, I have a 6, which tells me that this is US standard needle size 6. And right below it, it's 4.0 mm, which means 4.0 millimeters. Right here, you can see there's a 6 and a 4.0 millimeter. When I go to test my needle, I put it through the hole, and you can see it goes. It's not an easy fit, but it's just snug enough. I know it's a 6. It'll easily slip in and out of a 7. It barely slips just tightly through the 6. It will not go through a 5. That's how you know what your needle size is if you have worn off the numbers. Or some people use bamboo or wooden needles, and even some acrylics often don't have that print on their needles. So try it again.
All right,
Try your gauge. So this is a 6, 4 millimeter. It's going to go in and out.
Okay, so 4 millimeters.
Don't break the needle. I kind of like.
It's not right. It's not right.
Okay, these might not make it.
Mine's a loose 4.5. All right, we won't be giving away the needle gauges because.
Or if you do get a needle gauge, just know that you have to go up a needle size to know that you're really one
Okay,
size.
No, Luke will scale up the 3D model and we'll get it printed
Well, does
correctly.
your other one work? Your other one looks
No,
bigger.
they're identical. They're just printed in different filaments, 6.5 or 4.5, 4.5. All right, well, project was a complete failure, but we all learned something
But we
about.
had fun and we learned.
Yeah, right. So, all right.
So, do you remember how to cast on?
I actually no.
Okay.
Wait. So I think I remember having to make like cat's cradle deal on my thumb, right?
Okay, yeah. So he's talking about a long tail cast on, and the cat's cradle, what you're gonna do, and I'll include a video in just a few minutes to show you better, but you'll create a slip knot, you run your needle through the slip knot, and then you hold it kind of like you would play cat's cradle. The
and I
old
remember
yarn game.
I have to reach around one string and grab the one under it, right?
Yep,
and then
yep,
that's my
yep,
first loop. Okay,
yep.
cool.
You scrape up your thumb through the loop, down the other, and kind of whip it out. You release your thumb and give it a little tug. That's the long tail. There's also back loop, which is ultra easy. And a lot of times when I'm teaching people who have never knit before how to knit, I show them just a basic back loop just to give them the encouragement.
All right, I don't know. Well, if you missed the last episode, Jamie actually gave me my needles back. So I've been wanting to use these. I'm gonna open them up. I'm actually gonna start a project. I don't know what yet. So if there's something you wanna see, let me know in the comments as well. But I do have some absolutely amazing 4 square needles from Knit Picks. They're in this awesome purple color. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that print. I'll show you a close up. All right, so I have these needles. I'll put them together in the circular setup, figure out what needle size I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna let Jamie teach me how to cast on. So we'll do that right now.
I have my word cut out for me.
Yeah.
For casting on a long tail method, make sure that the tail of your working yarn is of adequate length. You're going to start by creating a slip knot and running your working needle through it. Then you're going to pass your thumb and index finger and split the yarn. Pin it down, open it up. Make sure that you have a little bit of wiggle room. Start to feel comfortable holding and adjusting your yarn. Don't let it be too sloppy. Next, you're going to take your needle and scrape over your thumb. You're going to take your needle through the loop, over to the other side. Pass it on top of the yarn, not underneath, always on top. Duck it through the first hole, release your thumb, and give it a little bit of a tug. Again, scrape through the loop, over the top of the other side, down through the first loop, release your thumb, give it a tug. Scrape, under, over, down, release, tug. Scrape, over, down, release, tug. And it begins to feel more methodical. When you're completely finished, check your yarn. Make sure that your stitches are all on the needle very loosely. You want them to be loose so that when you knit on the next row, your other working needle will be able to slide in and out efficiently and without struggle.
Alright, so for today, a number 7 needle has kind of always been my go-to, so I guess I'm going to put a set of those together and cast on just a little bit with that, and just want to make sure that I kind of remember the basics before I get into another project.
The problem with the number 7 here, Lukester, is that this is a DK weight yarn. And I don't have the original ball band. It'll be fine for learning to cast on, but you probably won't want to use a 7 for this yarn for permanent.
Is it heavier?
No, it's a DK is kind of like the middle grounds. It's not too heavy, not too light. It's probably going to require more of a 5 or a 6, but just to cast on, it's fine. But once we start to build a project for you, we'll adjust your needle size. And next episode, I'd like to talk to you more about how to select the right yarn for the project, how to find your gauge, how to figure out what needle works best with the yarn, and just kind of learn the characteristics of the yarn and how to manipulate it while you're knitting and enjoy it all along the process.
Sounds good. All right, I got my needles all put together. I did do number 6 based on Jamie's recommendation, so they feel a little unfamiliar to me. It's been a while since I've knitted, so all right, how am I getting...
Knit!
All right, it's been a while since I've knit. All right, so what do I have to do here to get started? Okay. I really don't remember.
That's okay, that's all right. So take your yarn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, okay. Right on.
Run your needle in.
I remember.
Okay, you can let this down. You don't need to
Here we go, ready?
No, you're not. You're not. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop
okay.
it. Whoa.
What? I want to back up through the loop.
Slow down. Split, part the C's.
Yep, got it. Good to go.
Scrape your
Already
thumb.
did it. Yep, back up through the hole.
Through the hole.
Around the front.
Around the top. Front.
Yep, I knew it.
Tuck it back down the loop. All right.
Okay, got it. Yep. Here.
Now bring this bring this needle over here. Scrape it off and duck it through.
Ooh.
Pull and tug.
Oh wow, that's like way wider than the first one.
The nice thing with long tail, when you do it this way, it's seems like one extra step, which there are many ways to do it. The extra step helps because it gives you almost a fake first stitch row. So when you turn your work, or if you continue knitting in the round, you have a clean border. It's almost like it's just nice. It gives you a little shelf that your stitches can all stack up on or stack below, depending on if you're knitting up or knitting down.
I got 20 stitches.
Yay!
Yay! All right, see you next time.